Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Frantic Nerdcast, episode 46. How you going, guys? I surprised the boys.
I was waiting for you to hear the theme song to come in. It just wasn't there.
No, we do that in post now.
Look how fancy we're getting. We've got posts.
That's right.
It's taken us 46 episodes, but we're there.
How are we on this lovely afternoon and / night, gentlemen?
Oh, doing amazing. I mean, it's a little bit hot and muggy at the moment in the shed after the weather this afternoon. But
what are you talking? This is not a shed. This is a deluxe filming center
that we've named the shed.
Sure.
Just now.
Good recovery.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see episode 55. It's Frantic Nerdcast with added sweat.
Oh, God.
Yeah, for those of you who live in the other side of the world in America, for our American fans, firstly, we're sorry. We heard about what happened. Secondly, you guys are coming into winter. We're coming into fucking summer. And summer in Australia is hot as balls during the day and then storms at night and then hot as balls the next day, but it's super buggy because it stormed the night before.
And then just to mix it up, they might have it drop to fucking, 10 degrees after.
So today it was 37 degrees.
Yeah, it got warm.
39 in Maitland, mate.
Which is for Americans, what's that in Fahrenheit?
Yep, a lot.
90 or something?
I don't know. It's like 102 or some shit. I don't know.
We'll do a conversion.
It is such a stupid fucking system. But what have you guys been doing anyway?
For me, I've had a few days off of work, which has been nice. Just had some family trottle across from Broken Hill and Park. So
98 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you
done any
watching.
painting, bro?
I have put paint onto a miniature, and it may have been
the meaningfulness.
No, absolutely not.
So for those of you who haven't listened to the last episode, we've challenged each other. We got a crowdfunding thing for all these night models for a DC miniature game. So we got 100 something minis to print off and paint, and we challenged each other to paint the same mini, and we're going to chuck them up, and you guys vote on it on Instagram. So we picked Superman. We're doing Henry Cavill's Superman for our first mini.
Yep.
And it's been a week since we've gotten the files and we've started painting. And as Brock has stated, he has...
I am going to use those 3 weeks to my advantage.
Hey, as long as you can paint eyes, you'll beat me.
Don't give hints as to whose is what.
I almost want to get another one off AJ because I can't submit this one. I'll paint another one.
No, it's one shot.
That's it.
One and done.
Just respray him and start again.
One
and done.
Fuck this off. It's so bad.
Rebase coat, strip the paint, start again, bro.
One and done.
I can strip resin, can't I?
Gosh,
yeah.
Ooh, okay.
2 weeks to go.
You got plenty of time, bro.
The thing is, me using the full 3 weeks to my my benefit. It's not because I'm going to paint for 3 weeks. It's because I'm going to just need to chip away at it.
Well, outside of that, I've now started to slowly amass my new epic Gargant army, which I'm assuming I can translate into Warpath. So I'll actually be able to play a game with you.
100%, yep.
But yeah, so I have
that
2
shouldn't be
Gargants.
far off either.
No. Oh, not too far.
Yeah.
I think it was early next year.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, two Gargants and a set of planes so far to put some paint on, and thinking about challenging myself with this army and doing something technical, debasing, but not sure what yet. So
basing's way too much effort. Just dry brush it, put some fucking grass on it, you're done. Okay, and the other little piece of news we have, and we've mentioned this a few times in the podcast, Underground Dice Racer. This is a game that we've created and is getting released very, very soon. We're just waiting on a couple of little things, like some approvals and stuff like that on GameFound, and it should be coming. It'll be definitely out by the end of this year. It's just a matter of how long we have to wait for approvals and stuff like that from GameFound before we can set a live. But keep a watch out. We will keep you all posted. Head over on Facebook, head over to the Zendara Games Facebook page and like it, and you can follow it there.
Are we allowed to put anything out there from a coming soon perspective, or do we still need the approvals first?
Yeah, we need the approvals before we can share the review page and all that kind of stuff. So
that makes sense.
We'd start waiting on a couple of things from GameFound there before we can send it live. And we have a how to play video that will be coming out very, very soon, hopefully within the next week as well. So keep an eye out for that, guys. It's a very fun push your luck dice racing game.
And I'll tell you what, on the note of games, last episode we spoke about mobile games, for whether it's something you return to or something that you sit on the toilet and just, peruse. Poop to. Pokemon decided to release another game. And it is fucking addictive. It's a TCG collector's game. So the idea is you get booster packs, you open the booster packs, you get like trying to collect the cards, and they're actually taking the artworks from the cards. So it's not
so you're not actually playing, you're just collecting.
You're collecting, and then from the cards that you collect, you can actually use in a short format for like battles and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
So it's a super simple battle format.
So it's a more kid-friendly version of the TCG.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, there you go.
And it is annoyingly addictive because I got it open. I thought, this will be whatever, and I found myself a few hours later still playing.
What's it called?
It was called Pokemon TCG Pocket. Came out like 4 or 5 days ago.
I feel like I've started to hear a bit of buzz about this, like with like streamers and things. The ones that do like those Pokemon openings and stuff, like talking about it getting like cards and stuff from Pokemon because they're promoting and shit. So must be pretty
cool.
Good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like they've got a whatever. I think there's about 300 cards at the moment that you can collect, but those 300 cards are the base, and then like you get the EX cards and you get some of the alternate arts and whatnot to collect. And they haven't gone down the route of Marvel Snap. How the cards like they get a new border and they get like you can do some things like that to make them a little bit more, but it's like just adding like a sparkle effect to something which might come up. But that's something you can choose to do or to not. But the cards are just the cards pretty much, and they've gone pretty clever about it, in my opinion. They've got a really super simple white background, so the cards pop even when you're doing the gameplay. And I just thought on the back of last week it came out at pretty good timing, and another one that I'll probably peruse for quite a long time.
I like it. Well, let's jump on into the episode, fellas. TV shows. All right, TV shows. Now, we don't have any movies we're talking about this week, so let's jump into some rumors for TVs and movies.
I literally was just wondering why you both got your phones out. I'm like, what have I? Yep, I've missed the thing that we do every week.
At one point, I was sending the screenshots to the Google, putting on my notes page, but it was just too much effort.
I usually do, but I forgot to do it this week. So my first one, return to sunny Shady Side High for one unforgettable night. Fear Street Prom Queen coming to Netflix next year. If you haven't watched the Fear Streets, it's like Goosebump, but for adults. It's fantastic movies. There's 3 of them.
I don't think I've watched the third one, but I've watched the first 2.
Yeah, they're really, really good movies.
So confirming a rumor I mentioned last week, apparently season 2 of Gen V has wrapped filming and it's coming soon.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Bit of a left field one, but this is something that I just didn't know and I thought was interesting. Vera Farmiga, she is most prominently known in The Conjuring. She plays she's in a metal band. She's a vocalist for I don't know if it's the Yagas or the Yayas.
I've seen that.
Yeah, seen that. I thought that's sick, and I had a listen. You know what? It's not too bad.
That's awesome. I like that. Sydney Sweeney received $750,000 to star in Madam Web. She reportedly only took the role so Sony would greenlight Anyone But You.
I see.
I will delete that rumor. So Agatha All Along, which we'll be talking about shortly, has been submitted for Best Comedy Series in the TV Awards season. So
fuck yeah, do it.
So as you're about to hear, we all have high praise for this show. So
do it.
Yep. Now, I thought this was a piss take when I first seen it, and then apparently there is actually a trailer and whatnot for it. But it's The Invisible Raptor. So we're gonna have to find the trailer.
I've seen this trailer.
Sounds amazing.
It's a disgraced paleontologist alongside his ex-girlfriend, an unhinged amusement park security guard, and a local celebrity chicken farmer are the town's only hope against the invisible raptor. I read that and I thought, surely that's a piss take. And then I seen a couple of other things like, oh shit, this is real. That's
like Rubber, the movie about the psychic tire. Okay, my one. So, if any of you didn't know, there is a CGI Gundam movie on Netflix that came a series that came out. It was pretty good. I liked it. The animation at times looked worse than some games cutscenes, but other than that, it was still entertaining to watch. But apparently, a live-action Gundam film lands a new director with Sweet Tooth showrunner Jim Mickle. Mickle will also produce with his partner Linda Moran through their company Nightshade. Jordan Voight Roberts and Netflix are no longer involved in its production. The film remains co-developed by Legendary and Bandai Namco Filmworks, looking to start production in early 2025. Now, you all may know I fucking love Gundam. It is my favorite anime of all time. Yep. And I am so fucking pumped for a good live action. There was one live action way back in the day. It was a pile of shit.
Yep.
fucking give us a good high budget one.
There was a photo I saw. It's in Japan, I believe, where there's the Gundam statue.
There are multiple all around the world. There's multiple Gundams.
Yeah, well, so this one is like you walk out of your house and you see like the top half is like what a view to walk
Yeah,
into.
a
every
new one
morning,
just got put up, and it's like a Gundam on one knee, like with his hand in the sky, and they had like full traditional people in robes and stuff blessing the head and all this kind of stuff before it got put up, and it's like
awesome.
they're national icons. I've been in Japan. I've been to the one at Tokyo Diver City, which was the first time I went was the original Gundam, the RX-78.
Is that the white one with like the gold? Yeah, that's.
And
I
then
think
it
that's the
got
one I saw.
taken down, and there's the new one, which is the Gundam Unicorn, which actually in the cartoon it like a unicorn horn. When it transforms, it like its horn splits into the Gundam spikes and like gets like all glowy parts all around it. And at night time, it all transforms and comes apart and glows and shit.
Right. Okay. So leaked McFarlane toys list confirms that in the new Superman movie,
We did this last week. He's going to fight a kaiju,
Ultraman.
an Ultraman and a kaiju and a polar bear or something. Yeah, we did that one last week, bro. I know because I did it.
I didn't listen to his. I went back and listened to the rumors from last week, but I only listened to yours, not his.
John Wick is officially returning to theatres to celebrate the film's 10th anniversary.
He did that. He did that.
Did he?
He did that. I just want to get in there before someone else did. He did that. I'm not going to repeat rumors.
Yeah.
He did it.
Simpsons did it.
He did it.
I apologise. Well, I'll just skip to my next one. Storm will appear in What If Season 3.
Oh, I did say that. New Godzilla film officially announced from the director of Godzilla -1, so a new Japanese one.
Yep.
Very excited about that.
Game of Thrones spin-off Aegon's Conquest is in the works at HBO Max.
Game of Work spin-off.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
Oh, Game of Thrones, yeah, fuck, who cares? Fuck Game of Thrones. I've watched one episode of fucking House of Dragons and I was like, nah, I'm done.
I
Fuck this show.
haven't finished House of Dragons. I watched a couple and it was okay.
Season 1 was okay. The gap between Season 1 and Season 2 was very long. So we started to watch Season 2 and we're like, I forgot half this story, so we need to go back and watch some of Season 1 again.
Yeah, I've lost full interest in it.
Old school movie Cliffhanger is getting a reboot.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, Lily James in Jaume Colette's reboot. So during a weekend trip with a billionaire's son, they are targeted by a gang of kidnappers. Ray's daughter Naomi, still haunted by a past climbing accident, witnesses the attack and escapes. To save her family, she must confront her fears and fight for survival. Also stars Pierce Brosnan, Nell Tiger Free, Franz Rogowski, Shubham Saraf, and a few other people.
Oh, there you go. Paul Bettany confirms to The Hollywood Reporter that the Vision series begins filming in 2025. James Spader will return as Ultron.
I have. There is a Vision meme I've just seen. Wanda kills Vision, Thanos revives Vision. Thanos kills Vision,
So
Wanda revives Vision. Vision dies, Sword revives Vision. Why won't you let me die? But on mine, there's a movie coming out called Dear Satan, which has Jack Black starring as Satan Santa. It's a Farrelly Brothers movie. The film follows a young boy who is writing his letter to Santa and mixes up his letter and sends it to Satan instead. It's coming on November 25 to Paramount Plus.
Right. That sounds pimp. Snoop Dogg is developing a movie inspired by Planet of the Apes. So I'm going to do something in that vein, but just imagine it was dogs instead of apes.
Fair enough. Sinister Six is reportedly moving forward in development. The team will consist of Kraven, Morbius, Vulture, Madam Web, and Venom. It's currently unclear if Spider-Man will show up during the filming, but the main villain will be Null. Do not believe it.
Yeah.
So the total production cost for both seasons of Arcane reached $250 million, making it the most expensive animated series ever created.
Nice.
And the hype I have for that show coming out in about 2 days' time is unfucking real.
2 days while recording, so it'll probably come out. Oh no, it'll come out the day after we.
So it'll come out. So it comes out. It comes out tomorrow.
I think we might have done this one already, but Marvel Studios has cancelled the season 2 for Moon Knight. Instead, they're now planning a Moon Knight movie.
I did see that. I actually had that, but I skipped it.
Yeah.
Netflix is officially doing a live-action anime adaptation of Demon Slayer.
Okay. Yep.
I think you've mentioned that before, someone.
We definitely spoken about Demon
Maybe
Slayer.
I've heard it before, but yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway, a bit of a rabbit hole theory here.
Oh, here we go.
I love a rabbit hole.
So did you know that the Headpool, the zombie Deadpool that appeared in Deadpool,
yep, I saw this.
lost his body because of Jennifer Cale from Agatha All Along?
Yep.
In Marvel Zombies 3, the zombie variant went to Earth 616 via the Nexus of all realities and attacked members of the Florida-based team. He appears to be killed when Wunda, the Aquarian, threw him, and Jen retaliated by luring Deadpool into the blades of a nearby skip.
And
His head survived.
She is also Ghost Rider's cousin.
Yeah, saw that too.
What have you got there,
for my
Brock?
next one, in case you didn't know, Jennifer Cale is Ghost Rider's cousin. Anywho.
I've got one more. It was a slow rumour week for me this week.
He's back. Nicolas Cage will return as Ghost Rider in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, I've got that one too.
Okay. So, the Star Wars status of upcoming films. Mandalorian Grogu reportedly wrapped filming, releasing May 22nd, 2006. Sigourney Weaver has joined the cast. The new Jedi Order stars Daisy Ridley, now searching for a fourth film rider. December 26th, apparently. James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi movie, set 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga.
Nice.
Bo Williams, the writer of Endor, is co-writing the script. Lando will be written by Donald and Stephen Glover. Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie closes out the story told in projects like The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and The Book of Boba Fett. Taika Waititi's movie, script co-written by Christy Wilson Cairns. Waititi will likely star in the film. Sean Levi's Star movie, Jonathan Trooper is writing it. Rogue Squadron, Patty Jenkins is developing it. The script is currently being written. I'm all for Patty Jenkins doing that. She's fantastic. And Ryan Johnson's Star Wars trilogy, still in the works, but postponed until he finishes the Knives Out films.
Good films, those Knives Out ones.
They are.
Good.
There's only one more of them coming out, isn't it?
I know one is about to come out, and
He's doing another one.
he wants him. What's the main guy's name?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig wants Netflix to extend the theatrical release before they release it.
Yeah,
because he thinks it deserves it.
It was disappointing that the second one didn't have a theatrical release, or if it did, it was very short.
No, I don't think it had one.
I think it was like a limited, like 1 week one.
Yeah. Sonic franchise director Jeff Fowler says Keanu Reeves didn't just show up and read the script to voice Shadow. He really wanted to create a very fan-faithful version of the character. He did research. He very clearly had gone and done his homework. Sonic 3 will hit theaters December 20th, 2024.
Nice.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not far away.
I'll say that seemed a lot closer.
It's like
but
December, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was next year for some reason.
No. My last one, Tom Welling says that we are still trying to pitch a Smallville animated sequel series to WB. Warner Brothers, and I'm not hating on them, they just haven't gotten back to us. It's not a priority for them. It's like a not returning phone calls kind of thing.
I'm for that. I mean, there's a really good season 11 comic. I think they're up to like season 13 or something now in the comics, and the few books I read of it were actually pretty good.
Yep.
My last one, a new Gundam anime project, Mobile Suit Gundam ALC Encounter, has officially been announced. It's scheduled to premiere on November 24th as a wall projection at La Porte Fukuoka shopping mall in Japan.
Nailed it.
Nailed that.
I
it looks to be the two main characters are females as well, which is not a thing that's really happened in Gundam. The main characters are usually males, and the most recent one, the Witches from Mercury, was the first one that had a female main character.
Gundam's becoming woke.
No, not really. It's all about war, so it's hard to become woke when you're all about war.
I have one more rumor, but it links heavily with my plot analysis of Agatha, so I'm just going to
All
say
right, well, let's jump into our talks about Agatha All Along episodes 8 and 9.
The big finish.
The big finish. So as we've reported last episode, we talked about episodes 1 through 7, our thoughts of the general series up to that point. And as we recorded that episode, it was on a Wednesday, and the episodes 8 and 9 aired on the next day when we recorded that. But then the episode released after those episodes had come out. So we're now talking about the last 2 episodes and our overall thoughts of how we thought they hit the landing.
Fuck me, how good was that? It was
They nailed the landing.
So fucking good. My God. Like everything that we spoke about the directions that we thought they might go in. Yeah. Fucking no. And what they did
obviously
was
spoilers.
Oh yeah, we lost the button for that.
Obviously they the rumor that I'd watched from New Rockstar on YouTube, their thoughts were like everything that you're seeing on the road was in his room. It turned out, to be true. I even watched a video of him going, "We got one right."
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the overall show. I liked the 2 episodes. A critique I have for the last 2 was I felt they were the wrong order. I feel like 9 should have been 8 and 8 should have been 9. Only because Death's big reveal and all that happened in the second last episode, and then there was no real payoff for her sort of thing. Which leads into the rumor I had was that there's a unused cutscene that leads to Death's purpose moving forward, which I think if that had been dropped in the credit scenes or something like that, for me would have rounded things out, because it just, although I loved it, it just left me not quite sure of its direction. Like, is it, and that probably will come to fruition in a movie or another season or something like that.
Well, apparently there were also scenes that either got cut in the script phase or got cut afterwards, where you saw Death and Agatha meeting, and supposedly a couple of reports I read said it was when she killed her original coven.
Yeah.
And one of the things I also read was they thought about it, or they weren't 100% sure. They thought about making Nicholas the kid of Agatha and Death.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And that's why when she's having the baby and the baby comes out stillborn, she says "my love" to her, which in Kara's ensues like that they have had a relationship previously.
Yeah, no, as I said, I don't have any issues with the individual episodes. I thought they were both great. I just thought how it flowed. The big episode was 8 with the payoff with Death, her dying. And I think if that had been there, and then the end of episode 9 tacked on the episode of 8 and swapped around, would have made a bit more sense.
I think the only issue, if you did that, you wouldn't have gotten that peak for the end of the season. You know what I mean? Because episode 8 was incredible and well done, but it didn't have like a peak moment, if you know what I mean, for a season.
And that's what I said. I think it was a bit anticlimactic, but would have been fixed if they had that cutscene of where does Death go? Because the end of 7, you had the big reveal of, oh my God, she's Death. Like, what's that going to happen? She sort of appears, has that sort of fight scene, and then...
I suppose you already knew that she was Death, though, because that got revealed an episode before, more or less. Oh, no, because they did a big, she told everybody that she was Death rather than just... Yeah, okay. That's fair.
I thoroughly loved the aspect of the ballad.
Yep.
Was Agatha All Along.
That was my favourite thing, or at least one of my favourite things about the show, and it was so smart and so well done.
Yep.
Just how the kid starts to sing it in the background, and then also the callback throughout where Agatha kept saying,
"I know it's
not
the
real.
lyrics
The
are
witch
this."
The witch is
but I like how she goes, "Oh no, the lyrics are this," and they're like, "No, that's not the lyrics." When they have that argument with the lyrics, and it's like, well, she knows. She made the fucking lyrics up.
Exactly.
And then you call it right too when we discussed last week how when Wiccan's like, oh, it's like you haven't even been on the road, and you get that look and you're like, actually, maybe she hasn't been on the road. Yeah. And there, you were right in the end.
And also, when you look back
for the wrong reasons, but
when you look back at the episode when they sing and she's like trying to psych them up to get for them to shoot it, and then all of a sudden they're like, there it is, and she goes, you see a look on her face like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
you could see their genuine fit. And even when that happened at first, I was kind of like, I fell for it, hook, line and sinker, but I fell for it. Sorry, noticed that she did the shock an aura and whatnot, but I thought it was more so because how the fuck did these guys open it?
I thought it was more along the lines because they had old love from that 70s shows with her who's not a witch.
Exactly.
And she's like, why did this work? Because I deliberately didn't get a witch.
Correct.
So there's also, I saw a rumor which I thought was pretty cool. So when you see the montage of her killing all the covens throughout, it's the only time Death turns up and her son dies is the time where he doesn't lure the witches out to create the witches' road.
Yes.
And so therefore that's why Death ended up claiming the son, is because
she wasn't getting any more bodies.
Yeah, she didn't create the bodies from having all the covens attack her. So that again leads to a bit in why I thought Agatha was upset in that scene where they open the road is, Death's coming for me now because I was meant to give her these bodies and I couldn't fulfill again. So
yeah, and they call it in the recording studio one where I'll still get my power and you'll still get your bodies when she's doing the mic and whatnot. So like it's almost like a link of how their deal sort of came about, so to speak. Like part of their thing is like, well, she gets the power by absorbing that power, and Death gets the bodies.
But I reckon like the subtext, like you're saying, the subtext of her. Like everyone, like I think they kind of made it, and a lot of people interpreted it as, oh, the kid's dead, so she just goes a bit crazy and starts killing heaps of witches.
No,
but I think the whole point of it was she was killing the witches to keep Death distracted originally, and then when the kid died, she kind of just went, okay, well that's it. I'm going to get enough power to try and kill Death.
Yeah.
Is my interpretation of why she continues to do it, so she can try and get a kid back.
Hence the reason she also went and got the Darkhold and all that.
That's what I reckon her whole arc is about, trying to get her kid back and destroy Death.
And that's again why I think there are so many cool things that point out to Death being such a good character. But I just thought Death ending in this season of the show just left me wanting more. And sort of like I said, hopefully there's the payoff there in the next movie or the next TV season or something like that where we get that more.
I reckon she'll pop up left, right, and fucking centre now.
I hope so, but again, it just if there's no continuation from this, it just left me like, oh, like why do we need to care about Death? Like,
well, we'll get a second season of this.
I think I think we'll get a second. Sorry, I don't think we'll get another Agatha All Along, but I think we'll get a continuation to this. It's just a matter of what
it might be the Wiccan story or something like that. Yeah.
Is it a Wiccan story? Is it another Wanda story? Or does it tie into Vision somehow? Because we've got Vision Quest coming up. Like, will that tie in? Because like in doing a little bit of reading, like when Agatha does turn into that spectral or ghost form and whatnot, she still becomes like a teacher, so to speak, of Wanda.
When she's the ghost, she takes Wanda through the Witch's Road.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's still a lot of tie-ins and whatnot. I honestly had the feeling that you won't see Death in many prominent roles. I think she's going to be a whole bunch of cameos and pop up left, right, and center. Unless they try to get her involved with like a Mephisto resolution or something like that, maybe. But I just got a feel that she'll, similar to this one, she wasn't in it that much.
Yeah, she'll be more cameos in your mystic-based movies, I reckon.
Exactly.
So like Doctor Strange 4.
I had no issue with her not being in it a lot because it sort of is keeping her mystique intact. Like we don't want to be oversaturated with her if she's going to it to.
I will be oversaturated with Audrey Plaza.
I know you will
any day of the week.
But yeah, saving her for that big character reveal if we're going to have her star in a big movie or something like that later on, and that's why I think just that cutscene would have just sewn everything up for you. To yep, she's going to be a big thing. Keep an eye out for in the future. Where this was like. She's turned up. She's killed Agatha, which she wanted to do. It's like almost like her storyline's done now. There wasn't anything tight like that. There wasn't that thread that was left open for you to follow along with her sort of storyline moving forward.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I mean, so we've spoken about it generally. Favorite things.
The different episodes having different themes and things like I thought was quite well done. And how you saw Agatha's story evolve unintentionally, sort of thing. Like her story evolved through everyone else's storyline thing. And I think obviously episode 7 I think was by far the most well done and my favourite episode with everything sort of being revealed and like all the sort of Easter eggs from the other episodes all tying together.
Yeah.
I think for me the way that the timeline linked and how you got those so they do a few episodes and then you'd see one that had like flashing and linkings between other ones. I just love the way that those link so perfectly. I mean, last week you said how that is such a hard thing to do. Fuck me, they nailed it so well. And just when we got that episode, episode 8 with Nikki and how that just brought it all back together, tied up those last little story pieces that might have been a little bit more open, so to speak, from the previous episodes. I thought that was a nice little fucking bow that was really, really well done.
I 100% agree with you. My thing's the same thing. Like I love the whole series just in general. By far Marvel's best series they've done, in my opinion. Just topping Echo. I loved the Patti LuPone episode. Her episode, which was episode 7 with the flashbacks.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The time jump and stuff. It was just so well fucking done. That and my other favorite actual moment in the show was when Death just walks off, pulls a knife out, and goes.
Oh,
Cuts the background and just walks through it. You're just like, that's fucking awesome. 'Cause it works on so many levels. Like, because she knows it's fake, so she can do it. But then it's also like she's using it like a portal, and it's just like cutting like reality. And just, it was fantastic. So well done.
The other thing that I really liked was the way that they played Agatha in your mind. Is she good? Is she bad? Did you do the right thing? Did you do the wrong thing? Is she doing it for her kid? Is she doing it for Wiccan? Is she doing it for herself? Like, you genuinely don't know. And even when it got to the end, you still didn't know because of the way that she played it off with, I wasn't doing this for you. I just want to be a ghost. And like, it's believable. And that is the whole way through with the way that, I mean, she even says to Wiccan, she says, oh, don't worry about it. Technically, you saved a life because I was going to kill them all. Like, and you get that and you kind of like, they paused after that and let it sink in as well. And you kind of like, oh shit, that's right. She is still the fucking baddie. And I think that was so well done that it connected you to Agatha as the protagonist in the thing, but she was still the antagonist through the whole bloody show, which was so well done.
Even how well they did the part of her backstory in episode 9 with getting everyone together, like, is she doing this for the right reasons, the wrong reasons? Like, so there's always been that back and forth of is she good, is she bad? Yeah. Have a question though. So the Salem 7 sort of had no resolution. Again, we discussed this last week, how we thought there was going to be 2 that survived, and I was waiting for them to pop up.
Personally, don't think they were real. Because when it cuts back to the flashback of when Teen's figuring out that it's all him that's done it all, and when you see Agatha looks down and goes, oh shit, it's real. And then when she looks up, like when they all looks up and Teen runs down and goes, we need to go, runs down the steps. There was no Salem.
But you didn't see them until...
You did.
You saw them come down the steps, but I thought they were already down.
One of them did like a spider crawl down the steps as he ran down the steps.
I think when they came down the steps after they'd already gone through the road.
No, I don't think they were real.
The only reason
I think they were part of his thing.
The only reason I still think they're real, or I do think they're real, is because of what one of the comments of Death made towards the end, or in one of the last episodes. She actually says, "At least you can consider yourself lucky that 5 of the 7 are gone." And there was a bit of believability behind it.
And at the start too, you see like Agatha is bartering with Death to be like, hold on, let me get my power back and kill those guys. So you can fight me at my full power, not take me as I am now. So
that's right, yeah.
So, but you're right. It wasn't really like nothing really happened with it. So I agree there. There is still 2. I mean, technically, the 2 might actually still be stuck in
the Witch's Road.
The Witch's Road, unless they came out when Wiccan was off. Because he went home first.
I can throw a theory out. Impossible if they do a second season. If there's still 2 left, the dead witches from the Coven become new members of the Salem 7.
Possibly, maybe. But you saw one of them go off.
Yeah, I know Death. You did, but Death's not finite, man.
Well, actually, no, that still leaves 2 bodies though. You've got that 70s show.
You've got Patti LuPone and that 70s show. Yep.
Yeah. Well, down to the crux of it, PAX.
I am gonna go with a solid 8.5.
Yeah?
Yeah. I loved it. It was great.
I'm going with a 7.5 just because I think the ending just didn't quite land for me. It was great, but I think there was just only needed small things to make it really good and keep me invested in that, like all the characters.
You know, what was really hard for me in this one is I can't remember what I gave Loki. And B, I
to be honest, you probably didn't give Loki a pack score because you forgot that many times.
True. Because Loki is still my favorite arc because I loved that.
Another theory, Loki is green and so is Death.
Yes. Yeah.
Put that in your mind and smoke it.
I thought it was going to go that Loki's going to be the next Green Witch in the Coven or something like that, but yeah.
It plays into that whole green is bad and red is green is bad, red is good, go stop type thing, which is why in Doctor Strange, when the Scarlet Witch and they went to that universe, it swapped the colours. Red was go, green was stop. So it reversed the
I
polarity
really
of the
should
green
watch
and
Doctor
red.
Strange too.
You
shouldn't
should,
I? Yeah. Okay.
All right, continue with your package. Trace.
Yeah, so as I was saying, Loki is still like my favorite arc, and I love that character arc from start to finish. So therefore, I was really invested in the season itself. So I still think that's my favorite arc. But this, as a standalone show, I think is the best that Marvel's released.
Yeah.
But I'm 9 packs.
Oh,
I
yeah,
fucking
nice.
loved it.
Boom. All right. The Agatha All Along, that's our thoughts. Tell us what you thought down below in the comments if you're on the YouTube. On to some trailer talk. Trailers.
And for something new, let's talk about Marvel.
trailers. Yeah, so Marvel dropped the goods.
Yeah, they dropped a couple of goods. So first cab off the rank is the Wonder Man teaser. This is coming out in December 2025 with 10 episodes under the Marvel Spotlight banner.
Oh,
Never heard of
which, funnily enough, we talked about were they keeping it or not last episode. They are,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. So they're keeping it. It's still Marvel Television, but it's Marvel Television Spotlight or some fucking.
Which
weird
means
thing.
they'll only ever do one kind of season.
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. It doesn't necessarily. It uses the characters who are within the MCU, but it doesn't necessarily link in with the story.
I have a question, but I've realised I'm about to interrupt your spiel.
No, you're right.
So, in the trailer, we see the character who we've never heard of talking to what is apparently a mentor of some sort, who was the character that played his character was the actor they hired in Iron Man 3.
Yes, correct.
Is that the same person?
Okay, so I'll read this bit.
This is why I said I was going to wait for this bit.
So we've got starring, we've got Yahya Abdul Mateen II, Black Manta from Aquaman. We've got Ben Kingsley returning as Trevor Slattery or the Mandarin. And we also have Ed Harris, very familiar face, recently in Top Gun Maverick, as well as an admiral, amongst many, many other things over the years. So to answer your question, yes, he is returning as Trevor Slattery, who was
One
Mandarin.
of my favourite characters in the MCU, man. I loved that they did that with the Mandarin.
Yeah.
I know it pissed a lot of people off, but it was just so fun. And him and Shang-Chi was just...
Yeah. It was great. Like, so when he came up in Shang-Chi, I'm like, I did not think we were going to see this guy again. And it plays...
I love that didn't get spoiled either.
Yeah, exactly. And it plays in quite well because, I mean, within the trailer, you see that Wonder Man is trying to be an actor. And from what I can tell, it's Wonder Man, he says in the trailer, I was born to play this role. Because I think that there's an element of Wonder Man is there, he does things within the world, and then somebody is writing a movie or a TV series or whatever about Wonder Man. So he's Wonder Man playing Wonder Man in a TV show about Wonder Man.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because I've never heard of Wonder Man before, but yeah, that's what I got was either he's got powers and doesn't like it, he's trying to live a normal life and hence becomes an actor who ends up playing a superhero, so it leads into that or something like along those lines anyway.
I'd never heard of him really before either, so I did a bit of looking into him. So so Wonder Man is Simon Williams. He was more or less a rival he was more or less the owner of a rival munitions factory against Stark Industries, so a rival for Stark Industries. He embezzles money from his own company, gets locked up, but aligns himself with Baron Zemo, bad guy from Captain America.
Yeah. The one that's in the computer.
Yep. No.
Oh, no. Oh, Baron Zemo. Yeah, sorry. He's leader of Thunderbolts.
Yep. Gets superhuman powers at some point via Zemo, like they experiment on him. He gets superhuman powers, but he's in essence a bad guy who, with his powers, he's trying to infiltrate the Avengers for Zemo, and so this seemed. If they take that on and he was a bad guy, this seems to be well after that, hence the reason he no longer wants to be Wonder Man, because he more or less was a bad guy, sort of became a good guy. He rivals against the Avengers quite a lot. So he's a pretty powerful guy to be introducing. So it's going to be interesting what they do with him for his...
Well, here's the fun little tidbit I just found. So Wonder Man debuted in the superhero team title of The Avengers, number 9 in 1964.
Yep.
He appeared to die in that same issue. 4 years later, in Avengers 58 in 1968, he revisited the expense, explaining that the Avengers had electronically saved Wonder Man's mind in a computer. Wonder Man was not seen again until 1972, where he made a cameo appearance in a comatose state. Wonder Man's body is revived by the villain Kang in 1975, and then again by Black Talon in 1976, and finally the living Laser in Avengers Annual number 76. After this last encounter, Wonder Man finally recovers his faculties and joins the Avengers full time.
Yeah. So he's the Marvel red shirt character from Star Trek.
It kind of sounds like it.
Pretty much.
He's a powerful character that always needs to die.
He started the Avengers West Coast.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, no, as I said, it looks interesting. It was, I said, showing my inadequacy.
This is even a
history,
character I have fuck all knowledge about.
One interesting thing is this will be the 17th series in the MCU.
Fuck, has there been that many
17th.
already?
This will be the 17th by December 2025. Now, another one that we're going to talk about
trying to think through my head. I don't think I could name 10.
The other one that we're going to talk about is Ironheart. Now, Ironheart is the 14th.
There's a lot. And Marvel's busy next year.
And it was being released in June. So we're getting two others between June and December, and they are Wakanda. Eyes of Wakanda in August.
Animated series.
It is. And Marvel Zombies, which is also animated in October.
Cannot wait for that. That's going to be fucking so good.
So from now until December 2025, we've got 7 TV series being released.
Is House of M slightly related, that storyline?
No.
Okay, good. Excellent. So does House of the Eyes of Wakanda, does that follow on from Ironheart? Since
I don't know.
I'm assuming not, considering it's animated.
I couldn't care less about Ironheart.
So on that note, we'll move into Ironheart, which, I mean, Ironheart, it's coming out June 24, 2025. It's coming out with 6 episodes. We've got Dominic Thorne returning as Riri. We've got Anthony Ramos in it. He is playing Red Hood. So he was from Twisters, Transformers, Rise of the Beasts, In the Heights. We've got Lyric Ross, who I'm interested to see. She was in a really amazing TV show called This Is Us. Watch that if you want to have a bloody cry, because my God, that is an emotional
that episode.
Show.
Oh my God.
All of the episodes on that fucking show.
Just the episode where he finally dies. Oh fucking hell.
God. Anywho, you've just ruined the show that I recommended for people, but sure.
I mean, they tell you he dies from the start.
Yeah.
Literally the first episode.
Yeah, anyway. Thoughts. So this trailer, I was put off from the start. The intro of the voiceover felt forced.
It's just she was jammed in to Wakanda Forever. Like just jammed in. She did not need to be in that movie.
Didn't need to be there. Didn't
the suit looked fucking horrible. She wasn't a well fleshed out character.
No. Not at all.
And which hurts, because she is a well fleshed out character in the comics.
Yeah, she wasn't introduced well. I think if they had have given her a little something, like they could have introduced her somewhere else just to give. It didn't even need to have a wow factor. It could have been even a minute thing here towards the end.
And I feel like they gave her too much smarts straight away with like, oh, she's already built the suit by the time you fucking meet her kind of thing. Whereas like Tony got, he's been a genius his entire life, and it took him being captured. Like, it has that story to build Tony up to Iron Man, whereas we never got that for her. It was just like, here she is. She can build robots too. Woo! Look how good she is.
I suppose the one thing that they may have done is we've already seen the develop of a character, so why do it again? And also, it's one of those things, like as technology develops and becomes more and more readily available, it becomes earlier that people are able to put it into place. So Tony Stark has done the legwork to build the Iron Man suit, and now Ironheart is more or less able to be achieved easier.
I feel like there needed to be, just in MCU terms, there needed to be a better connection
100%.
Between her and Tony to justify why she's building an Iron Man suit.
So I had a different thought of who this character was, which is completely wrong, but I think it's would have made a better character with how they presented it. I thought Ironheart was from Iron Man 3, the kid that Tony meets on his travels. Because then in the Ironheart trailer, you see Tony's, got that connection where he sort of says, Tony said, you're the only one that can continue this, which I thought would link back to...
Isn't he like the Iron Lad or something like that? Or
I had no idea.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was a boy there, so I think I'm wrong, but I'm like, that would have
Yeah,
been a better
it is a
connection.
boy. He's at the funeral.
Yeah, and that was teased quite a lot on the back of the funeral where, hey, he's going to be the next Iron Man, yada yada, and nothing's really eventuated from it.
Which
I
is
hope
why
they
I
still come
said
back
I
to
thought
it.
there
Well,
was
I mean,
something
in the comics, she does take over as Iron Man in the comics and stuff, but it's just it feels too forced for me.
100%.
It needs to be. Hopefully, in the series they do
Better.
but yeah, at the moment I've got a bad taste just from her and Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, and even with Wakanda Forever, like
I haven't seen it. Was it good?
Yeah, it's good. Give it a watch. Even with Wakanda
I mean,
Forever,
Wakanda Forever, it was always going to be a tough
100%.
ask.
Yeah.
Making a movie without your lead actor,
And they did it very, very well.
Yeah, I
and
just...
you cry at the start too.
100%.
Unfortunately for a lot of those Marvel movies came out when I was just a bit burnt out after Endgame. I'd sort of was keen to watch No Way Home from Spider-Man and that sort of thing, but it sort of was...
There is no such thing as being burnt out from Marvel movies.
No, I'm coming back. It's fine. I've had my break. I'm balls deep in.
Good.
Now apparently have to go watch about 13 fucking Marvel series I haven't watched. But I'm back
15
in.
years of Marvel. Go.
Exactly.
And start.
Yeah, like I said, put off from the start. The intro felt ridiculously forced, or at least that voiceover did. And I don't think we actually got any new footage. It was all shot over stuff from Wakanda Forever.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention.
No, I watched.
only
I
a
watched,
teaser trailer, to
It
be
was a
fair.
teaser trailer, but I mean, if you want to do a teaser trailer, I thought they would have been better either not doing anything, or something literally along the lines of a voiceover that was actually fucking decent, and it led into like the Ironheart banner or something like that. Like
I
that
think you
would have
could
been better as a
possibly
teaser.
had the RDJ hologram or something saying like, going, I'm leaving this to
Yeah.
you or something, and then moving on.
That would have been good. Like that would have been so much better. But yeah, what they released was just shit.
They probably haven't filmed anything yet.
Well, fucking, it comes out before Wonder Man. Wonder Man had all that stuff done.
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, come on, Marvel, do better.
Okay, well, let's get on to our final trailer, and that is Ash.
No set date, but it's coming out in 2025. It is directed by Flying Lotus. He's a record producer, DJ, and filmmaker. He was actually involved in VHS 99 and a movie called Kuso, which I've never heard of, and a few others. But we've got Eiza Gonzalez. She was in Baby Driver, Alita Battle Angel, Bloodshot. We've also got Aaron Paul, best known for Breaking Bad, amongst other actors. And
I watched this, and I watched through the trailer, and I was like, all right, I put it on, and then I watched it again. I'm like, it's in space.
Mm-hmm.
It tells you nothing.
Tells
you nothing.
That's about all I got from this.
Yep.
I'm intrigued. I
Yep.
will watch this movie.
That is how you do a fucking teaser. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
It went for like 45 seconds or something like that, and it's just
It
ridiculously
reminded
intriguing.
me a lot of Sunshine. I don't know if you've
Yeah,
seen that, the Danny
yeah.
Boyle film, where
Yeah.
he stares in the sun and goes crazy.
Yeah, that was good.
It has that vibe of something happens and they start going crazy, and you see like shit in the fucking sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I watched it and I was like, didn't give anything away, but also didn't give me anything to hook me in.
Nah, got me.
like,
Sci-fi epic. That just fucking got me straight away.
I mean, I'll probably end up watching it because it is a sci-fi movie,
Yeah.
and those movies usually fall into my wheelhouse. But I watched it, I was like, yeah.
I'm keen to see Aaron Paul in that sort of scene because he sort of fallen into that like the Breaking Bad. I can't remember what the movie is that they did with him, which was good. A good movie that was
it
a
was
follow-on.
like Driver or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Where
something
he was
like
like a
that.
car
It was on
driver
the
or
run.
No,
something.
Need for Speed.
Yeah, Need for Speed. That's it.
That's the Need for Speed movie.
You fucking.
Oh no, you mean
He
the
did the Breaking Bad follow-on
sequel.
movie,
Oh,
which
the
was
one
on
in
the
Mexico.
run.
Yeah, the Mexican one.
Look, I'm going to humiliate myself. Breaking Bad's on my next to watch.
I didn't like Breaking Bad. So
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had no interest in Breaking Bad. I wasn't a fan of it.
But Aaron Paul's great in BoJack Horseman.
Great show that Netflix cancelled.
Yep. But I mean, look, visually it looks stunning. As I said, Aaron Paul's a great actor, so I'm keen to see what he brings to this. With the several seconds we got with Eiza, she looks great. Very well done teaser trailer. I'm fucking keen.
Yep, I'm very keen as well. Okay, we have tasked each other with coming up with finding 3 fantastic comic book
Thanks,
storylines
guys.
that we'd like to recommend. Now, Zach is not a massive comic book fan. Or comic book guy, should I say.
Before we get into that, though, I actually wanted to quickly touch on one of our things that we spoke about last week, which was the rumor where we were getting Hush 2. And highlighted from yourself that I'm pretty sure they've already done a Hush 2.
And then I took a photo and sent it to you because I own it.
Exactly. And I thought it was really interesting within the comic world how, or at least to talk about how you can have something which this is coming out, and for all intents and purposes, this is the Hush sequel. So we've got Hush, this is the Hush sequel. That is how it's being peddled. This is what the thing. But you make a brilliant point. Like the one that you showed us was Hush Returns. I mean, that implies he's been here before, he's fucking back. So I mean, a second one.
Sequel.
Exactly. So it's really interesting how
Hush 1.5.
It's interesting how comics in that vein and comics can just pull and draw whatever they want to.
I don't think it's actually, because Hush was like, it was its own book.
Yes.
Whereas this, I think, is a collection of different stories from like Detective Comics, like Detective Comics 622, Detective Comics 623 kind of thing. It's just a run compiled into a trade back, and they've gone, we'll name it Hush Returns.
Yeah, cool.
Whereas I think Hush 2 is going to be
a new story.
A book on its own right. It's a book titled Hush 2.
Yeah, cool. No,
kind of
which makes sense. And I mean, the brilliant world of comics where you can do whatever the fuck
That's
you want.
right.
Because again, like I've not read Hush Returns. I loved the character Hush. It's an awesome character arc. So I'm super keen for the second one to come through. But I mean, the Hush turns up left, right, and center. He's in quite a lot more than I actually realized. Which was also an interesting thing that I thought. I thought we had Hush and that was it.
All right, so
Zach's over there going, "Who is Hush?"
So Hush is a villain who's like bandage over his head, got guns and stuff, and he comes and torments Batman. But
he's Batman.
You find out that he's Batman's friend from college.
Yeah,
and all this kind of stuff. But then at the end of the book, you find out spoilers. You find out that it's actually not Hush who's the bad guy. It's actually the Riddler who's been organizing all of it. And it's a really big reveal. It's really good. It's actually an animated cartoon, so you can just watch it instead of reading it.
It's amazing.
And it's a really well done.
Get amongst it.
So, Zach, you can start with your first. We'll go one each, and we'll go around the table. So you start with your first recommended storyline that you think people should read.
I've sort of did a bit of research onto possible storylines based on what's been happening in the comic universe, sort of on screen. So the first one I would like to read into was the Old Man Logan storyline. So watched the Logan movie, thought it was fantastic. Hopefully I haven't just...
For those of you playing at home, I am currently holding up the trade back, or one of the collective trade backs of Old Man Logan.
So I said, don't really know much
Take that home with you.
Take it home with you. Read the shit out of it. It is so fucking good.
Right, we'll do. But yeah, said like the movie was fantastic. I thought it was a baller way to end the Wolverine as we knew it.
Yep.
But yeah, so that would be a storyline I'd be interested in reading. So
100%,
we'll read it.
100%. We've mentioned it a couple times on the show. It's a brilliant comic.
Yeah, that's all right. The back cover just got me hooked.
Give it a go. 100%.
All right, mate. What do you got, Brock?
From me, the first one I'll stay on the vein that you've just gone and go with Marvel also. Now, this is something, I believe we've mentioned it before, not really too in-depth and whatnot, but Superior Spider-Man.
So this is when Doc Ock takes over his body.
It is. So, as you said, in essence, Spider-Man or Peter Parker, he's died via the events of the story arc Dying Wish, and it results in Otto Octavius or Dr. Octopus implanting his consciousness into Peter Parker's body. And following the arc it's incredible. It's amazing, amazing read, and the visuals are incredible on the panels as well. Really love the essence in which Dr. Ock, he sort of kind of becomes Spider-Man, and that tear between like, is he Spider-Man? Is he Dr. Octavius? I'm like, because the idea is now I've got Spider-Man's body. I can do whatever the fuck I want, but it's like via the body, that essence of, like natural reaction of, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Or, oh, well, I just saved that person. Why did I do that? And the way that sort of plays through and comes across onto the panels is incredibly well done. Highly, highly recommend.
And Superior it also it leads into Spider-Verse.
Yes, it does.
The main event, which inspired the movies and all that kind of stuff. Well, I was going to do Old Man Logan. But
please don't take any of my other two. I don't have many.
I will flip it to another series, which I highly recommend. And for anyone who has our age, so mid-30s, late 30s kind of area, you will all know and love a great show called The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes, you will.
Yep.
And what you may not know is that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers has a fantastic comic book by Boom that continues the original Rangers story. And it is amazing. And the arc that you read it all, so you can kind of get up to this arc, but the arc that you should read is called Shattered Grid.
And from memory, this is like super adult themed compared to the TV show as well. So it's for those people who think, Power Rangers, like it's fucking adult themed to the teeth.
So Shattered Grid follows Lord Dracon, who it won't be spoiled, but you find out that it is Tommy, but the Green Ranger, but from an alternate universe. And he's traveling throughout all the different universes, killing the Power Rangers and taking their coins to become more powerful and essentially take over all of reality. And it's up to a group of Power Rangers from different universes to come together and fight him. But he's been taking some of the Power Rangers, not killing them, and turning them into armies. So he has like an army of Red Rangers, an army of Blue Rangers, an army of Yellow Rangers kind of thing. And it is such a good storyline. It is phenomenal, and I highly recommend it to people. And there's also a little tiny short of Jason, what's his name? Who played Tommy?
Can't remember.
You say Jason, I want to say Momoa, but it's clearly wrong.
No.
Frank. Something, Scott Frank or whatever.
I can't remember.
Yeah. The guy that played Tommy, Jason Lee Frank or something like that. Jason Frank, I think his name is. He did a little tiny short on YouTube where he plays Lord Dracon. He's got like the long hair and like the veins up his face and stuff. It's fucking awesome. But yeah, highly recommend Shattered Grid, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Jason David Frank.
I knew it was
He's
that.
going to punch me.
Rest in peace, Jason.
I wasn't a big Power Ranger fan as a kid. I think that's partially too because being just that tad younger than you, I missed the originals.
Yeah, the other ones are...
You didn't miss the originals. You just didn't watch them because we're similar in age.
I'm not saying I missed them completely, but like when we were younger, it was the newer stuff was definitely more prevalent than the originals.
Yeah, like RPM and all that kind of stuff.
All right, so my second one is something I've heard great things about for a long time, and definitely something that breathes new life into a character I think is the most boringest superhero of all time, Superman and the Red Sun.
Yes, I love Superman and the Red Sun.
So... Hearing this is where obviously Superman lands in Russia and becomes a Soviet,
it's an Elseworld story.
Yeah, a Soviet operative. I think this is a cool storyline.
We also have the mini for this too.
I'll paint the fuck out of that one and I'll do justice to both eyes. But yeah, I just think this is a cool storyline. A definitely different take on everyone's, blue collar, goody two shoes superhero. So.
It's a great story. There's lots of things I want to say, but a lot of the things I say will ruin it for you. So I'm not going to say them. Good pick, mate. Good pick.
All right, and I'm glad you went to DC because my next one's actually from DC as well. Now we've recommended a whole bunch of things over the year in the show, things like Injustice, Dark Knight's Metal, Hush, Tower of Babel. But one that we may have mentioned, but not really recommended, is the Blackest Night arc following Green Lantern.
Fuck, this is a good arc, man.
So good. So it's split into three, which is Sinestro Corps War, Preludes to Blackest Night, and Blackest Night. Amazing story.
It continues on after Brightest Day.
Brightest Day. Yeah. So I haven't actually read Brightest Day, but
not as good as Darkest Night.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. But it's absolutely incredible. Story follows the Green Lanterns and other. As they sort of discover the other emotional colors, they're more or less discovered or rediscovered. You see incredible action, genuine unknowns for characters. They're going to make it, or if they're not going to make it. We see for those who don't know the spectrum of colors, we've got Will, which is your green. You've got Rage, which is the Red Lanterns. Avarice or Greed, which is your orange. Fear, yellow, being Sinestro Corps. Hope being the Blue Lanterns, Compassion, Indigo Tribe, Love is Violet, which is more of a pinky color, the Star Sapphire Corps. We've got Death, which is the Black Lantern Corps.
Which is introduced in this book.
It is. Yeah. Now, I haven't read this in a very long time, but I'm going to go back to it.
The orange one, because all of them are like corpse, and so they have like lots of people and stuff. Orange is just one dude.
Yep.
Because orange is the best.
It's Greed. So it's just him, and he's like always hugging his lantern and
Yep.
stuff like that, and he refuses to let anyone else join the Corps and stuff like that. It's really cool. He's a great character.
Yeah, and I loved the way that they introduced Atrocitus, like, because that was awesome, going through like the rage spectrum and all that sort of stuff. Like, that was awesome. I love how they tied the black corpse into it. It's more or less death, or reincarnation of death, so to speak, who's using the corpses of dead superheroes to sort of build the lantern and the power up and all that sort of incredible
great
story. Highly recommend.
Yeah. Okay, my next one I have here to show people.
On a audio medium.
On the audio medium, you can I'll hold up to the microphone so you can see it. This is War Games from in the Batman universe. So again, this is like a collection of multiple different stories all bundled together in 3 trade backs. So essentially the story is Spoiler, who at one point was Robin. So this was after the 3rd Robin. His dad says you're not allowed to be Robin anymore, so he stops being it. So Spoiler becomes Robin for a little bit, but she fucks up and Batman's like, you ain't being Robin.
Sure.
So she goes back to being Spoiler, but to prove to Batman that she can like do what she needs to do, she goes into the Batcave and goes on the computer and goes through his scenarios that he has in his computer, and she finds one that will eliminate all of the gangs in Gotham, and she enacts it. But little does she know that Batman or Bruce Wayne has to be undercover in one of the gangs for this scenario to work, and he doesn't know that it's activated. So it just turns Gotham into a massive gang war.
Yep.
It is fucking great.
Yep.
As always, you've got like lots of cameos from the Bat family. This is also when Cassandra Cain was Batwoman, or Batgirl, sorry. And I love Cassandra Cain's run as Batgirl because she's an assassin who can't speak, never learned to speak. So she's got like a sewn over mask on a mask, and she communicates through movement and stuff like that. And she just likes belting the fuck out of people. Right. That's great. Great Batgirl. Fantastic series. It's got all the villains in it. Lots of gang stuff happening. And highly recommend it. 3 trade backs. Good read.
Do you have a question I want to ask about comics in general after this that you sort of just made me think of then? So my last one.
You can ask it now if you want.
No, I think it'll be. I think it'll tie everything up because the genuine question I think I have as a non-comic person and other listeners might have.
Sure.
So my last one, capitalizing on Agatha and sort of the magical side of things, was the House of M storyline, which I got. All these storylines I sort of talked to my mate Sam, who I think we really need to get on the podcast because gives a lot of great ideas, old Sam. So yeah, he gave me the House of M, which is thought of this one based on the success of like Wanda and Agatha we've had recently. Which is a storyline where sort of Wanda again sort of takes over and controls a whole bunch of people with mutants and stuff.
It's basically kind of they got the idea for WandaVision from House of M. So essentially, Wanda loses the biscuits. And she recreates the entire world in her image where mutants are the dominant species. So like Magneto is president. She's married to Vision. They have kids. Iron Man is a gladiator in a gladiator arena. A lot of the X-Men become S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. What are some of the other storylines? There's fucking heaps of them.
Yeah.
Because you had the main House of M run, which was its own comic, and then pretty much every other comic in Marvel had a House of M run, which I loved the House of M event. I hated that it took over some of my comics and changed some of my comics. Because when it ended, I won't say anything about how it ends or anything like that, but when it ended, it drastically changed a lot of the comics and changed their backstories and stuff like that. Because it was one of those events where they can kind of go like, we don't like a lot of the backstories of people. We're going to change them.
Kind of like it was around like Flashpoint and whatnot.
And one of my favorite comics at that time was New Mutants Academy X, which was it was a whole heap of new X-Men kind of things, and like White Queen and Cyclops were the teachers, all that kind of stuff. And they got turned into S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in that. And then when they came back, it like drastically fucked up the whole school and X-Men universe and stuff. And I didn't like what it did with it. So, but other than that, it is a good storyline.
Yeah, I said one of those
great
things.
Storyline broke my comics.
Yeah,
well, I think it's a pretty cool storyline to talk about and capitalize at the moment for Marvel with the success of like Wanda, Agatha, and all the hype around.
Yeah, I think they've kind of picked and chosen little parts of it and put, because I've seen parts of it in Wonder, I've seen parts of it in like Doctor Strange Multiverse, and like just they sprinkled little parts of it here and there.
Yep. And the last one for me, I want to do one Marvel, one DC, and one something else. So I actually grabbed the Gears of War Volume 1 to 3, where it follows Marcus Phoenix between games 1 and 2. It's actually technically still DC, but anywho. But it's not like the main things we see, like your Batman, your Superman, your Wonder Woman, etc. Love the game. So from that perspective, it was great to see it in a different format, just having a flick through the comics and whatnot. Art's great. The storyline is incredible. Just seeing Marcus Phoenix in a different light rather than just getting there and putting a chainsaw through Locust. You actually see him being sort of a supporting role for young recruits and stuff, and sort of developing relationships in that way. You also see some of his relationships develop, which you see the culmination of those relationships in the games, but you don't actually see how they sort of come about. So I really liked those things about it. The only downside I have to it is that it didn't have as much gore as what the games have into it. So it's got some, but it drew back a lot from what the games would have. But in saying that, they do very well with this. They make up for it with the story and whatnot. So yeah, it was great little read. Gears of War Volume 1 through Run 1, 2, and 3.
All right. My last one is Batman and Superman. Now, they did these... when was this? There is no date on it.
I'll find a date. You can talk.
Yeah, so basically... Get out of it. Batman and Superman, they did a comic together where it was like, I think it was 50 or something issues that ran for, and it was them together and going through different scenarios.
There's a lot of great stories from it.
So 1 to 6 was called Public Enemies, which they made a cartoon about.
Public Enemies was awesome. Yeah.
And this was the second lot of stories combined, and this is the Supergirl collection, and this is the reintroduction of Supergirl
into the camera for those listening
into the universe for at that time. Like she hadn't been in it for a while, I think, and it was a reintroduction. It was written by Jeff Loeb.
Yep.
Who DC fans will know is a fantastic writer.
100%.
And illustrated by one of my favorite comic book artists who did my favorite comic book, Fathom, and that's Michael Turner. And this is one of the last things he did before he passed away from cancer. It is visually stunning, and the story is excellent. It's got some cool dark sideness in it, Apocalypse, all that kind of fun stuff. Great read, and you can't really say much without spoiling it, but it also created the spin-off of the Supergirl solo series, which was also excellent, which had the good Supergirl versus bad Supergirl, like the black costume versus blue costume, all that kind of stuff.
I haven't actually read those, I don't think.
Really good. And there's a whole heap of these trade backs, but this was my personal favorite, the Supergirl one. So that is... That's our 3. So mine was Power Rangers, Shattered Grid, Batman, Superman, Supergirl one, and War Games from Batman.
Mine was Old Man Logan, Superman Red Sun, and House of M.
And for me, Gears of War, Marvel, we did the Superior Spider-Man, and from DC, we did the Blackest Night arc.
Excellent. So... you got one more question.
So the question is, so obviously you just handed me this lovely Wolverine Old Man Logan storyline. Is this the complete storyline in itself? So what we've all discussed today, are they like, if someone was to go and pick them up, do they have to go out and buy several comic books? Like, is a run like hundreds of comic books long, or
some are, but mostly most major events will be collected in what they call TPs or trade paperbacks, which are essentially these are called HCs, so hardcovers, but they're essentially the same thing. They'll usually collect, if it's like most arcs are usually like six issues around abouts, and they'll collect them into these. If it's a big event like No Man's Land in Batman, that's 5 trade backs, and it had a prequel which was called something, and it was a trade back on its own. So generally they'll collect them into a whole heap of trade backs.
Yeah, well, I said I asked that because I said someone that's not obviously into comics, if I was to start getting into them and purchase them or downloading them, either way, do I need to download like hundreds of books for that thing? But most of the big things will be in trade back. Because I think that's what a lot of people would be put off by getting into comics, is not knowing where to start, and then when you do start, it's several things.
One of the hard ones is when you have, so let's say Top Cow, which did Witchblade and all that kind of stuff. They had a major Universal event called Artifact, and it had its own comic called Artifact, but then every other comic in that universe all interweaved with that. So to be able to read, it kind of jumps, okay, it happens in this comic, so Witchblade, and then the next issue you have to read Darkness Volume 220, and then you have to read fucking this comic issue, and they're really hard for people, especially if you don't collect all the comics. But trade backs, generally what they'll do is they'll collect all those individual issues and then put them in a chronological order for you to read.
All right.
And that's typically how I do it anyways.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper.
It's A lot cheaper, and B, you don't have to sort of keep on top of
and that's the thing. So that would be what you guys would recommend, then, is to go and buy trade
100%,
backs rather than comic books per se. Buy the trade back.
And if something's been out for a long time, it'll have a compendium, which is generally like a book like fucking 100 millimeters thick.
Yeah.
All right, last thing. Gaming.
Did we not skip?
We did. I was going to wait till he finished and then go back
did
to
we?
it.
What did we skip?
Comic story.
Okay, wait. We're back to comics, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, let's start again. So what we're going to do today is 3 comics that we recommend.
Groundhog Day.
No, so the last item was a comic storyline that you would like to see on screen.
So I slightly cheated here. So
I just
I
only
only-
not believe it. We never cheat here.
I can't wait to see AJ bring up 4 here. I'll just wait. There it is. So I only cheated because one of them, I said I would like to see Superman Red Sun come to live action. I know there is a animated version of
I
this.
don't think there is there?
The Red Sun.
Yeah, is there?
According to my reliable resource, Sam, he says there is.
I think there is.
Oh, there might be. I haven't watched it if there is.
But yeah, so that's something I'll probably get into watching soon. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if that came as like a DC TV show or like a random movie that sort of was there but didn't tie in directly to the DCU.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, I said, my wife Lisa and I have she's finished rewatching the Lucifer TV show for about the 15th time.
So good.
I'd like to see that sort of be remade, but with the darker sort of DC twist. I know it is related
Well,
with
it's
Sandman and
not
things.
at all based on the comics, the TV show.
No. My main complaint with the TV show was I just think it was a bit too airy-fairy.
It got too samey for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
No,
it's never going to happen because it's written by Neil Gaiman.
I know.
And he's just been cancelled.
I know. So it'd be interesting to see if someone else could pick up that sort of storyline and make it their own with that reason. But I just think that's a sort of a cool aspect that could be brought to life.
Because he is in the Sandman comic, and he after Sandman visits Hell, that's when Lucifer leaves Hell, and that's when he.
I have no doubt before I see all this sort of the cancelling happen, I would be shocked if they weren't planning on bringing Lucifer into that sort of Sandman universe.
He had a cameo in CW as well.
Yeah.
In the one of the crossover arcs. I think it was the Flashpoint one.
It was whatever the last big arc was, the one where Arrow dies.
Yeah, I think that was the Flash.
I'd stopped watching by that point. But yeah, so those were my 2. I just think they'd be very different and out there. So I think Superman Red Sun. Sorry, I think that'd be fantastic to see in live action. Said everyone sees Henry Cavill Superman and things like that. So seeing the very like flip reverse of that would be cool to see on the big screen.
I agree. For me, or at least from the 3 of the above that we just recommended, I would like to see James Gunn's Green Lantern TV show follow the Blackest Night story arc. Now, I haven't actually done much reading to see what arc it's going to follow for his story. I'd like to see it. I'd
love to see it as well. It's not going to. I don't think they'd ever do it. But
no,
yeah.
I don't think that
because it involves
way too much.
If you go with it, it involves nearly every fucking DC character,
every single
especially
DC
major
characters,
yeah.
And I mean they've got planets killing fucking planets and shit. Like there's so much going on in there.
Yeah.
But no, I think it would be cool. Don't think they will. I mean, even though we've got the 3 Green Lanterns coming through in it, but anywho.
I say it's more something you probably see as an animated run rather than a live action.
Yeah,
correct. So the one that I've actually chosen now, I think.
So you cheated too.
I think no, that was just one that I would have liked, and fuck you. I told you we never cheat here. You might have actually mentioned this previously that you'd like to see it as a TV show, but in any case, I'm doubling down. Something is killing the children.
Yeah, okay.
That was yours?
Yeah. It's okay. I had 2.
No, because like I, as I said, I think we may have mentioned it previously, but I think this would be an incredible black comedy horror TV show.
It would make such a good TV show,
so
especially like in that
good.
vein of like Stranger Things, that style. It would be fucking amazing.
Except amp up the adult themes and
Yes,
whatnot.
yes,
and
yes.
it'd be fucking insane. Now, what I was going to do is throw it, because I've only read a couple of them, I was going to throw over to you to actually give an explanation of the story, like a quick thing on the story.
So
because
basically,
you talk
yeah.
about it quite well.
So this is one of my new favorite comic books. I've mentioned it pretty much from the get-go of this podcast, that how good it is. Essentially, it starts in a small town. These kids having a slumber party, they go out. There's like 4 of them, and 3 of them get brutally murdered. And one of them gets, and he keeps saying it was a monster, it was a monster. No one believes him. And then there's a young blonde girl with big eyes and comes, and it turns out it was a monster, and she's actually a monster killer. But only kids can see the monsters. Adults and stuff can't see them, but she's done some curse on herself which allows her to see monsters, and she goes around trying to kill them. And then as it goes further in the story, you learn she's actually from the House of Slaughter, which is a house that are dedicated to going around killing his monsters. And there's lots of houses all around the world. And she's kind of done the runner from this house, so she has people chasing her from the house and stuff.
But she still talks to the house though, doesn't she?
She talks to a guy who's on sort of, he's in the house, but he's on the outside. And that gets more into further arcs of it and stuff. But it's fantastic. It's had a spin-off called The House of Slaughter.
Yep.
And it is just such a good comic. It's funny because one of a friend of the show, Matt, who listens all the time, he messaged me on Facebook about 2 weeks ago or something. He's like, "Oh, we're in Melbourne. We're at Minotaur. What are some comics you recommend?" And I'm like, "Fucking this fucking something is killing the kids.
Empty your bank account."
And he read it and goes, "Fucking loved it." It's a great comic, and it would make such a good TV show.
It would translate really, really well, and it wouldn't even need to be like over the top.
It's like a dark Buffy.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Yeah, it'd be great. So I was going to mention that one, but luckily I had another one in my back pocket.
What are your thoughts on dark comedy horror?
I think it'd work really well. Because you'd have like the kid being like the stumbly bumbly kind of character, and then even like the arcs after the first arc, which is the first trade back, those arcs kind of have those characters as well, kind of thing. I think it'd work really well. Mine is just I just want it to be made. I'd like it to be a TV show. I don't care if it's a movie, but I want that to be Fathom. Fathom is my favorite comic book of all time. The comic book company is called Aspen, which is what I named my child. The main character's name is Aspen. I have her tattooed on my arm. It is a great comic. It's about a chick who's she's found on a cruise ship, and the cruise ship captain adopts her. She ends up growing up. She becomes an Olympic swimmer. Then she becomes a marine biologist, and through her marine biology, she discovers that she's actually born of a race called the Blue, who live underwater. And then it goes into this thing where like the Blues start to fight with the humans and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got like even deeper down humanoids that come from below that they're fighting everyone, and it's just an amazing story. It's like, unfortunately, it was Michael Turner as well, my favorite artist, created it and wrote it, drew it, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, it was like 8 issues per like an arc, but they took forever to come out, and they'd always miss fucking delivery dates and all that kind of stuff, and it was unfortunate. And I think it's had like 6 arcs, and it's had like Dawn of War, a couple of spin-offs, had a crossover with Witchblade and Tomb Raider, and it would just make such a good TV show. It would look phenomenal. It would cost a fortune to make because a lot of it takes place underwater.
Yeah, right.
But it would make an awesome TV show.
I've not
at one point,
read it.
Jennifer, what's her name? The one that was in Transformers. That was in Jennifer's Body.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Her. She's dating MGK.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. At one point, she was going to be playing Aspen in the movie, but it never happened.
Yeah, okay.
No wonder I didn't know what he was talking about. It's the wrong name.
It was so funny because he said it. I know exactly who he's talking about.
I was thinking Jennifer's
think
Body.
that's her name.
I was thinking Jennifer's Body. Okay. Games.
Right, so what we're going to bring to you today is 3 comics that we recommend.
All right, so Zach, our resident gaming nerd, fill us in, good sir.
I just wanted to do a sort of recap on the League of Legends Worlds that just finished last weekend. So not really.
That seemed like it ran for quite a while.
Yeah, there's quite a few things, and normally they only run the games over the weekend, sort of, or a broader weekend, so like Friday through to Monday.
Okay.
That way, as there was some traveling, so they started in Berlin, went to Paris, and it ended it up in London in the big O2 Stadium, I think it is there. So, quite a big production. It usually runs for about just over a month.
Yeah, okay.
Because there is playing stages, group stages, all those sort of things. As I said, as you get through to it, usually they will run a best of 5 series, and obviously because it could run for a full 5 games, each game going anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour on the longer side of things with breaks in between. Usually it's only the one best of 5 per day sort of thing. So, it was quite good. The games were of pretty high quality this year. There was, and the current meta was always interesting to watch. There's been metas where it's just been sort of characters in mid lane that can just clear everything, and it's quite a doldrum to watch, but this was quite good. So mainly talk about the finals in particular, it was a really good best of 5 series, went backwards and forwards, took the whole 5 games, which was great. And Faker, who is the resident GOAT of League, came in to win his 5th Worlds, just sort of carried a lot of the games on his back, which was great to see and what everyone wants to see, because sort of I think Faker's everyone's sort of favourite League player if you're in following the scene.
Yep.
Linkin Park opened it.
Linkin Park was there. That was one of my critiques of it was we spoke previously about how their opening ceremonies are bigger and bolder.
Yeah.
This one was just a little lackluster.
Yep, I agree.
Even Linkin Park, who I love to watch perform, like one of my favourite bands, it just missed something. Like it needed some sort of VR or something there. They just sort of rose up out of the stage on sort of a podium, sang their song "Heavy Is the Crown," which was great, but they just sort of stood there. There wasn't choreography that sort of followed it. The 2 sort of leading songs before it had some great choreography and great scenes and things like that. But yeah, like the Linkin Park song itself was just a bit
That's a shame.
flat as not the song, but just the performance sort of thing.
Finding their feet.
No, it's not them. It's the legal legends.
It's
group,
what's come before in previous years.
Super over the top production.
Sure.
And this just didn't hit the mark.
Imagine Dragons did one many years ago now, but they had like this full choreography that accompanied their song and things like the stage was full of all those guys with the big drums and things like. So there was a lot of grandeur. And
it had like big fucking screens that had like floating 3D things that would fly around, and fucking a dude would jump down, and they'd have a virtual version of him walking across the stage, and then he'd pop back up on the other side and shit. It's like over the top crazy.
And it was quite a big stadium, and it said they had giant screens, things around it, which was displaying things, which was cool, but it just. Yeah, there was just something missing. I think, as I said, it wasn't Linkin Park's performance. They were great. Loved the song. Loved everything about it. It was just what was going. It was just sort of there was something around them that was missing, and that sort of thing. But as I said, the event itself was great. We do have our first European Worlds winner since season 1, who was a substitute that didn't actually play a single game. So that's Reckless, who is one of my favourite players because he's from Fnatic, most well known from being in Fnatic, which is the team I've followed in League. But yeah, overall it was good to watch. Definitely, if you've not really into League, go and watch some of the highlights of the games. There's definitely some cool scenes and outplays there that can sort of pique people's interest to go and play the game.
I thoroughly enjoy the game. I'm fucking shit at it, but I do enjoy playing it every now and then.
I've never played it.
That can be a let's play.
Yeah, okay.
All 3 of us will get on League, and we'll get there and we'll get blasted by some 12-year-olds. It'll be enjoyable and everyone can laugh along.
They'll fucking let us know about it too, won't they?
They fucking will. We'll have to fucking blur the chat because there'll be profanity going everywhere. My mate Butters, who is a pretty calm, collected character, has been chat restricted and had to win a certain amount of games before his ban from ranked was clear because he's It's changed him.
All right.
It's changed him.
I'll see if I can set the record for being kicked off quickest.
I think we could do it. I think we could play, not get you kicked off quickly. That could probably cheese. But I think we could play an ARAM. I think that'd be pretty easy to get you guys in there. I've got enough accounts so you can all have one.
I've got an account.
Oh, I've got an account that you can borrow. It's got some decent champions on there for you.
Let's burn his account.
But yeah, I think that'd be definitely an entertaining one for Place Games for sure.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, there you go. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play some League of Legends, and you're all going to lol about it.
I can get Sam and someone else to come and join, so we've got a party of 5 there ready to go.
It's on.
Okay, cool.
It's on. It's happening. You've heard it here first, ladies and gents.
But yeah, overall, it was definitely a great thing.
I wonder if my computer will power it.
It's not a crazy game.
The game itself is pretty good. The client buggy as fuck.
Yeah, okay.
But LoL Worlds, definitely recommend just watching the highlights, especially of the World Series at the end. Definitely some cool characters in there that were played, and now the anticipation is just about what character skins we're going to get for the World's 2024 line. So the winning team gets a skin line created after them of a champion they've. At first, it was any champion they wanted, and then it's evolved into a champion that they sort of had an impact on at that world. So hopefully, it's Poppy gets one, who's a character I enjoy playing. So I'll get a new world skin for myself.
Nice. All right. Well, that is it for episode 46, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much if you made it this far. We highly appreciate it, as always.
We do indeed.
One thing we've been sharing on Facebook, if you could go to the Facebook page, 3 little buttons up the top right, press it and share it with everyone you know. We want to try and get as many people listening to the podcast as possible. It would be great. So if you could do that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and thanks to those who have done it already. Very, very massively appreciated. As AJ said, we're just looking to get into as many ears as possible.
And that extends to things like the YouTube channel. They said we set the goal maybe somewhat unrealistically a few episodes ago of getting 50 subscribers by episode 50. So
I can't remember that.
We've got
apparently we did. Yeah,
we did.
We've got 4 weeks.
We've got 4 weeks to get 14 people.
Right.
I think we're currently sitting at 36 from last time I checked.
I'm going to create 14 accounts.
Hey, I don't care how we get there as long as we get there. So. Yeah, everyone, as we said, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. Just help spread the word of the Frantic Nerds.
And unfortunately, next week we will be not having an episode. So next week there won't be an episode, but after that we'll be back normal as always. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Till next time.
Too easy. Catch you guys.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Frantic Nerdcast.
You can find all our latest news and information on Facebook or at franticnerdcast.com.
You can find us on Instagram at Frantic Nerdcast. Find AJ at Weird Art by AJ. Find Zach at Frantic Kaz and myself at Frantic Brock.
Please make sure to head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe for more YouTube-only content like Sequelize It and Plays Games.